So this is all part of just getting a green horse to just change leads so we have something to reward. But not all horses are natural enough lead changers that this will even work. So the next part of this video is going to be about the horses that don't change leads naturally. In other words, that little corner trick didn't work. Or those of you that are trying to refine your lead change so that it is on command when you want it, where you want it, without anticipation, and you can go to a horse show. Now, one more exercise that we use that we break into pieces for a horse has to do with the lead departure, because good lead departures make for great lead changes. So we'll walk a green horse along the fence, pull its nose to the right, push its butt off of our right foot, push it on down, use that momentum, and then gradually try to work the horse's left nose toward the rear end, keeping forward motion all the time, and then just release and walk again. Pull the right rein so the horse's nose goes toward the fence, push with your right foot to kick the hip around a little bit, then with that momentum moving down the wall, just work the horse's nose to the left a little bit. This is the beginning of a good lead departure, and it's really difficult to separate a horse's shoulders from its rear end and get enough movement on both ends. So we'll go ahead and go back the other way, try it again, maybe this time at a trot. So basically what we've done is we're teaching our horse to separate that front end from the rear end and allow us to control it. Tina's getting a little bit of extra rear end moving there off of her left foot, and then working that right nose toward the butt as it moves down the fence, just for a step or two. The lead departure frame is one of the hardest things for a horse to understand, learn how to do. All of these little things are just putting enough control on different parts of the horse that we'll be able to actually change the horse when we want, not have to trick it by moving it into a corner where the corner's coming and the horse is uncomfortable in the counter canter and where it actually wants to change leads. We're now working toward being able to change our horse when we want, not when the arena dictates it. So tipping that nose to the right, kicking that butt around, using that momentum as the horse travels down the fence to work that nose toward the hip. Okay? So now we have the basic ingredients for a lead change. We have enough control of our horse's hip, enough control of their shoulder and of their face to actually start working on getting the lead change on demand. Great lead departures make for great lead changes. And as Tina just showed you in the last section, how we start getting the lead departure frame, because it's really difficult for a horse to tip his nose one way, push his butt that way, stay in the bridle, and still walk in a straight line. You have to start somewhere. So that fence drill is great to get the colt started in the lead departure frame. Once we're able to walk a horse in the lead departure frame with just as much nose as we have rear end. I know a lot of you see the guys almost walking their horse sideways like that when they depart. I think that kind of can get you in trouble. It may get your horse too wiggly. But if you have just enough nose and just enough butt and your horse is comfortable walking, then the next thing is just to roll your horse right over the bit and pick up your lope. If you can't do that, and when you ask for the lead departure, you actually get the horse diving off to the left. I'll demonstrate that coming right toward the camera. If I am walking in lead departure frame, but when I lope off, my horse goes the new direction, that's not going to work, because when you change leads, your horse is going to dive off to the left. And Marlene calls it poor geometry. What will happen is you come across the middle and you go to change leads and your horse changes direction. You have no real control of where your horse's body is. When you come across the middle of the arena, you want to change on a straight line, all together in one spot in the arena, and not have them side passing off one way and changing the other way and having body parts every which way. So we want to work on our lead departures and make them really good. There's a whole section at the end of this DVD that came from the live webcam that we did a few years ago, that there's just lots and lots of footage of working on lead departures, because it is so important. If you work on your left lead departure and you get that down really good, then be sure that you work on your right lead departure and get that really good. I do a lot of what I call scoring. That's walking in a straight line with my horse's nose and butt tipped that way, and then I'll push it the other way. Because a lead change, all a lead change is it's going from one lead departure to the other lead departure at a lope. That's really all it is. So we want to be sure that we can move our horse's body around enough that we can actually accomplish that. When I ask for the lope, I put my left leg just a little bit behind the cinch, and I roll my spur up into my horse.